If you were arrested for a standard alcohol DUI in California, your paperwork almost certainly lists 2 charges, and most people assume that is a clerical error or redundancy. It is neither. The prosecutor files both counts on purpose because they are 2 different theories of guilt, built to take 2 different paths to a conviction. If one path fails, the state still has the other. Vehicle Code 23152A is about impairment. It says it is illegal to drive while under the influence of alcohol, meaning your physical or mental abilities were affected to the point that you could not drive with the caution of a sober person. Notice what is missing from that definition. There is no number. You can be convicted under this count, even if your BAC was below 0.08, if the prosecutor convinces a jury you were genuinely impaired. The battleground here is the officer's observations, the field sobriety tests, and the driving pattern. Vehicle Code 23152B is called the per se law. Per se is Latin for in itself, and that captures it exactly. Driving with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or higher is the offense, full stop. The prosecutor does not have to show bad driving or obvious intoxication. The number alone is enough. This is the cleaner count for the state when the chemical test is high, because it sidesteps the question of whether you were actually impaired. The entire fight here centers on whether that test result is reliable. Because the 2 counts ask different questions, they fail for different reasons. The per se count lives or dies on the chemical test. If the result can be challenged on calibration, timing, mouth alcohol, or a rising blood alcohol argument, that count weakens. The impairment count lives or dies on the officer's report and field sobriety tests. A strong attack on the number does not automatically defeat the impairment count, and a strong attack on the officer's observations does not automatically defeat the number. A real defense starts by figuring out which pillar is shakier and pressing there. This 2-count structure applies to alcohol. When the allegation involves drugs, there is no equivalent per se threshold, because California has not set a legal BAC-style number for THC or most other substances. A marijuana DUI under Vehicle Code 23152F is charged purely on impairment, which makes the officer's observations and any drug recognition evaluation the entire battleground. There is no chemical number to attack, so the defense focuses entirely on whether the evidence of actual impairment holds up. If you are convicted on both counts, California does not stack the penalties for 2 counts arising from a single act of driving, so the practical sentence is generally the same as a single conviction. People sometimes resolve a case by pleading to 1 count while the other is dismissed. More importantly, understanding that the case has 2 separate pillars is exactly why DUIs sometimes resolve as reduced charges. When one pillar is weak, that creates leverage, and leverage is what moves a case toward a wet reckless or another outcome. Results vary depending entirely on the specific facts. Understanding the structure of your charges is the first step toward understanding where your defense actually lives. I'm Joel Brand, a California DUI lawyer. This is general information, not legal advice. If you want a free written case analysis, it is at DUI.guru.